Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. Once a week, we get together for an hour and a half for a boot camp, getting ready for another week, but also as a sanctuary, trying to figure out what's going on in the world, getting comfort from each other, getting energy from each other. So today, at the end, we're going to be doing a exercise on the floor called the Yi Jing Jing, which can be translated as exchange of tendon. Actually, to me is more like exchange or renewal of the connective tissue channels, the energy channel the energy that are going through our connective tissue, sometimes called fascia, but it's more than just fascia. It's more than just myofascia. That's just the muscle, but it's also actually everything that is connecting within us. All right. So to pair that, we're going to be doing some massage, tapping, scraping, acupressure, and so forth, all for the purpose of clearing these secondary channels. All right. So for those of you who are new or maybe wanted to hear it again, is that we have energy channels in the body. It's an abstraction of what North Indians call nadis. And the North Indians thinks that the body is the channel of energy from the universe. They actually identify 72,000 of them, half on one side and half on the other. And when that knowledge came to China, they abstracted into according to the sun, and so they think that there's 12 secondary channel in the body, six above, starting with the fingers, and six starting with the toes that travels all around. Each one active for 2 hours. So active in the sense that this is where the wave. If you think about the wave, that the ocean is moving, it's just that there's a wave, right? All right, enough of that. And then when we do the Yi Jing Jing, then it's more about in addition to the secondary, then there are the primary channels, the one that comes up from the spine and then comes down. And one's called the Yang channel, one's called the Yin channel. All right, okay, so let's get started. We're going to clear some secondary channels, starting with our fingers, starting with the tip of our fingers. So let's bring out our right hand, bring out our right hand, bring out our left hand, and then use the thumb on the right hand, just massage the tip of each of the fingers. All right. Now, it's very important that you don't treat this just as an exercise of the body. It's actually important to treat it as exercise of the mind as well. So as you massage your body, massaging the fingertips, I want you to keep checking to see if your mind is at the pleasant. Are you actually focusing on your body right now, observing the change in your body, the sensations in your body as you massage your fingertips? All right, so now that we massage your fingertips, we're working towards the shoulder. And so we come down to the joints on our fingers. So again, take your right thumb and then just massage each of the joints and massage the front, the left, back to the front, back to right. And all this time, keeping what we call mindfulness now, right? We've been talking about that. And for me, mindfulness just anchor your mind on your fingers. Now, after you finish one finger, you will move to another fingers. And again, one joint at a time, very focused, very mindful. Continue to observe the change in your body. Now, I mentioned this before. You would notice that, first of all, I don't drink that much water, hardly any, right? I could be here for 2 hours and I might not need a drink of water. And then at the same time, you notice, now we're going to do that on the right hand, okay? Use the left thumb. At the same time, if you pay attention, you notice that I have to swallow my saliva all the time, even though when I'm talking, even though when I'm doing energetic exercise. And I think I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that as an indicator of your health. All right. Okay. So now we finished working on the inside of a palm. So now we're going to work on the back side. And once again, we start at the fingertips, but this time we're going to take like each of the fingers on the left hand, and then we're going to use the thumb and the index finger and just put that around the corner of the nail and just kind of squeeze it a little. Again, working on the extremities. And so if you imagine energies are flowing from the inside your body towards the fingertips, we call that yang, right? Yang means the sun, or the another way to think about it is the visible energy, whatever is visible. Now we're going to do that on the right hand side. And now we're going to come back to the joints again. And this time we work on the back of the hand, once again, using your right thumb and just massage. And so you might say, well, why are we doing that? Well, one of the things that we're doing is relieve the pain, right? But the pain is actually just a symptom, the symptom of a much deeper problem, which is that the chi is blocked. And so the Chinese have a, now we do the right hand, and the Chinese have a very simple saying. He says, if the chi is blocked, then your body would experience pain, right? And the pain comes from inflammation. So in other words, is chi has to do with inflammation. All right. So now we're done with the back of the fingers, back of the joint. So now I want you to hold your fist lightly, expose the knuckles, use the right thumb, use the edge, and just kind of fit between the knuckles and just kind of massage that a little bit. Do some acupressure now, right? And then on the back of the hand, you notice how the fingers are individual and then but they kind of join together. And before that, you can kind of go in between the bone. Again, use the edge of your thumb and just massage that. And then now when the bones come together, you can actually feel two dimples. And I want you to do some acupressure on those dimples. Now come back to the thumb. We want to massage the thumb all by itself, right? The thumb is that one finger that we use before we were born. When we're inside mother's womb, we actually start sucking our thumbs. If you ever see the ultrasound, right? It's pretty amazing. Now, I want you to really massage your thumb, right? You're gonna just think about it. Try not use your thumb. You can't do anything without your thumb. In fact, in the evolution of our species, it was the thumb that differentiated us from the others. Okay, now I want you to locate this part of the thumb that is very meaty. Okay, and then I wanted you to use the knuckle on the right hand. Do that. Okay, do some acupressure. A little bit soreness there. Mhm. Okay, now we're going to do that on the right hand. Again, holding a fist just very lightly, using the left thumb and just kind of fit in between the knuckle. Okay, and then kind of slide in between the bones on the back of your hand. And then in the wrist. And then back to the thumb, all by itself. All by itself. And then that part, the meaty part, use the knuckle and do this. All right. A little bit sore. All right. Clear the channel. All right. Now, just quickly, again, and I say this 100 times already, right? So you have 6 energy lines, secondary energy channels in your hand. 3 of them are yin, away from the sun. 3 of them are yang, facing the sun. And so the yins are the heart, or actually more like the mind, and then the lung, right? So these 3, and then the middle is the heart. It's basically the heart, the pericardium. All right. Now, there's an energy point in the middle of the palm that is unique in that not only that it's associated with the heart, but that it's the only one that gives our energy. That's why we call it the healing hand. And so it's actually in between the middle finger and index finger in the middle. So I want you to use your knuckle again and kind of work on that palm, the center of your palm, and then work on the other side. Okay, now I want you to imagine a circle around that energy point. I want you to put the palm together and kind of just in that circular motion, kind of massage your palm. And then I want you to put the right hand on top of the left hand, put the fingers together and just kind of massage the center of your palm, the back of your hand, and in between the fingers. And then the other side. Okay. And then one more thing, or 2 more things. I want you to take each of the fingers, like the pinky, wrap around, and just kind of massage that. Massage that. Okay. Massage that. As we get older, as we age, the first thing happens is that our fingers start deteriorating, because of arthritis. Arthritis is inflammation. It's just that. Okay. And then one more thing is I want you to pull on these fingers. Really pull on it one knuckle at a time. Pull on it. You say, oh, it hurts. Well, then back off. Don't try to hurt yourself. Okay. But if you can, then you do this. Okay. Now, so the Chinese actually believe, remember what I talked about last week? I talked about the five elements, the water, the vegetation, the fire, the soil, and the mineral, and how they have enabling power as well as restraining power, right? And the five elements also reflects what we call the treasure organs, right? The heart, the lung, the heart, the lung, the kidney, the spleen, and then the liver, right? Now, the Chinese also believe that the fingers represent all those five treasure organs as well. And so they really like doing finger exercise. Not only that, but they believe that the fingers are connected to our neurological health. And that makes sense, right? Because um, I remember reading an article about these days have to walk dogs, right? For some reason, we became sort of the family sanctuaries for these pets as the family decided to travel. And so when my son and girlfriend goes to Thailand to see their family, we get to take care of the dogs. And then now, these days, we have a German Shepherd and another smaller one in the house because my boy sister-in-law has to go back to Singapore to visit her aging parents. So we became that. And so I've been reading articles about how to keep dogs smart. And it turns out that if you let them smell, and so this is one of the things that we don't know how to do, right? We take the dogs out and they just smells everywhere. And you can tell that where they go to is where the other dogs have urinate. And it just like gross. But it turns out that it's very important for the dogs because the smell is the evolution. The smell is the evolution. And so if you let them smell, they stay healthy. Well, humans don't smell that well. Humans don't hear that well compared to other animals. But one thing that we do well, one thing that we do well, and this is the one thing that the baby knows how to do. The first thing they know how to do when they were born is that they know how to use their fingers. If you put their fingers in there, they will grab it. They grab it really tight. The fingers is evolution. And so Chinese believe that the fingers not only tie to the internals, but they also tie to your thinking mind, your brain. All right, so now we're going to do some finger exercise to not only to maintain the harmony within us, but also kind of make sure that we have neurological health, right? So these things are very important, very, very important. Okay, so first we're going to do some what one might call qigong exercise with the fingers, and we're going to take out right hand, both hands. We're going to put the thumb and the index finger together, and this is a very simple exercise. And we're just going to squeeze them as hard as we can. Then we put that in the middle finger and squeeze them as hard as we can. Then the index finger and squeeze as hard as we can. And then the little finger and squeeze as hard as we can. So we're actually energizing the internal energy associated with the organs. Continue, put the thumb in the middle of the index finger and squeeze it hard again. And then now put that in the index finger, squeeze as hard as you can. And then finally the ring finger and the little finger. Okay, simple exercise, very simple. And it's been written up. A lot of people have used this as part of the physical therapy when they to recover from a stroke. Okay, so this is a good exercise. If you have anyone at home that you think needs some simple, right? They can't do much, right? If their body is in bad health, but they can do this and they can try the best. Now, the second finger exercise has more to do with our brain and has more to do with separating the left brain from the right brain. So I talk about the exercise that we do later called the Yi Jing Jing, YJJ. And I said that translate into the renewal of tendon because it's the same word. but actually what it means is renewal of the connective tissue, right? Now, there's a very important, there are two very important connective tissue in the body that are totally ignored by the Western scientists. One is the diaphragm. And that's why we need to do a lot of abdominal breathing. The abdominal breathing, well, we can later on when we do the meditation, I'll explain more, is the key to our health, is the key to maintain the harmony in between our yin and yang. The other very important connective tissue is the one between your left brain and your right brain. And I believe that it is the inflammation of that connective tissue that causes dementia. Because the first sign of dementia is losing balance, losing coordination of your fingers. So this exercise is simple, but it's very important. And it basically separate the left brain from the right brain, and also working on the brain finger connection. All right. So I want you to come back to your body. It's important that you sit properly. I want you to come to the bottom of your spine. Then I want you to walk up the spine towards the top of the head. I want you to do that one joint at a time. Stretch your spine towards the ceiling. Then I want you to focus on your shoulder. Lift up the shoulder as if you're bringing your shoulder and your upper torso to your ears. Then I want you to lean back the upper torso while you're opening the shoulder as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. Then I want you to relax the shoulder and relax the spine. Now I want you to take out your right hand, meaning that we're going to use your left brain. I want you to exercise those fingers one at a time. First, the thumb, then two fingers, then the index fingers, then the little fingers. I want you to lower the right hand, raise the left hand, so you're using the left hand, so you're using the right side of the thumb. Once again, exercising the fingers individually by folding up the thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Then I want you to bring out two hands and squeeze as hard as you can. Come back to the right, opening the fist in the reverse order, little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Put down your right hand, bring out your left hand, little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Then I want you to stretch those fingers as hard as you can. That's the first one. Second one, we're going to speed it up. Right hand, thumb, two fingers, index, in little. Left hand, thumb, two fingers, index fingers, little fingers. Squeeze as hard as you can. Open it. Little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Stretch as hard as you can. One last time. Right hand, thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Left hand, thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Squeeze as hard as you can. Open it back up. Right hand first. Little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Left hand, little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. And then stretch as hard as you can. All right, that's it. All right. Okay, so then I want you to put the palm of the hand together, the fingers touching, sit up straight, and then just kind of bring it down. You feel a little bit of pain on your wrists. Okay, all right. So now we're ready to do some tapping. Once again, we're tapping the most important part of your fingers, which are the extremities. And I want you to put the fingers together, keep the fingers straight so you can feel the vibration. And let's try to focus on the fingers as if your fingers are instruments, musical instruments. When you play an instrument, you have to listen. You have to feel it. So let's do that, all right? And one of the tests that you do it right is that as you do this, you will feel slivers in your mouth because your mind is not drift somewhere else. If your mind is drift somewhere else, you enter into the sympathetic nerve, the fight or flight. Your body releases stress hormone, shut off the salivary gland. But when you're focused and when you're mindful, when you anchor your mind on your body, you actually enter into the parasympathetic, the rest and digest. It reactivates the salivary gland. It not just reactivates the salivary gland, it actually reactivates your immune system, your digestive system, and your reproductive system. All right? Okay, get ready, sit up straight. Now, I want you to try one thing. I want you to stretch your spine, and then I want you to push the hip forward and lean back and feel the stress on your back. Why is that important? That's where your kidneys are. The kidney are the water element. Remember, water is the precursor of life. It's very important. And you're just going to bring out that energy by pushing your hip forward and leaning back. Feel the pressure on the lower back on both sides. Okay. Now you sit properly and then you go. Get ready. Focus. We're going to do this 30 times. Go. Okay, this is actually a brain exercise as well. Okay, balancing the left and the right. Huh? All right. So now we're going to cross the fingers, and then there's the energy points at the bottom of the fingers as well. Get ready. 30 times. Okay. Now we're going to do more tapping in the inside of a palm at the below the little fingers. That's the two that are also called heart, except that in Chinese heart also means mind. It's confusing, but this actually has to do with the mind. And so we're going to come down on the little fingers. You notice that there's a meaty part here, just like there's a meaty part over there. We're going to put that together, forming a V with the palm. Meet, muscle against muscle. Get ready, go. Then we're going to do the opposite, which is below the thumb. That's the meaty part, and that has to do with the lung. Okay, get ready, go. There was a really good comment last week, and when I'm doing this, I can hardly see, right? Plus, my eyesight's not so good, and it was really, really good comment because I was talking about the yin and the yang, and I was talking about the difference between the Western science, medical science, and the Eastern medical science. And I was talking about how both of them are science. One is experimental and one is experiential, all right? And one of the comments from the student, he said, well, isn't that yin and yang? I said, wow, that is. Because if we think about yang, the energy of the sun, we're talking about the visible. So that's obviously what experimental science means. That's the Western science. Then when we talk about the yin, it's not like the shadow, it's not like the darkness. It is just the invisible, things you can feel, but you can't see, right? But yet it's an experience, it's real. Okay. So the Eastern science is more about that. It's more about the experience. And so that's obviously the yin. And so when we talk about harmony between the yin and the yang, whether we talk about the earth or a society, well, when we talk about medical science, there's also the yin and yang. And so that explains what I do is I don't go towards one or the other. I use both. And, all right, so that's very good. I like it. All right, so now this is the yin side. Now let's open the yang side. Now the Chinese actually believe that your mental health is associated with your intestinal health. Well, that's Western science now. And so there's an energy point right here. So if you fold your hand, you see a line that's right here. So let's put that together. Let's fold our hands flat like this, and then make a fist and just tap that 30 times. Okay, now that's a small intestine. The large intestines is right, there's an energy point right here. It's called the merging valley. So you can actually, when you open your fingers like this, you can, like, there's a valley. So let's tap that 30 times. Get ready, go. The other side. Okay, so continue with the finger exercise. We come to one that is very important, which is springing our fingers. Springing our fingers. Okay, and we call that action and reaction, right? That's the Newton's second law, right? We used to teach that. And so when we go like this, that's action, and then the vibration that comes back is the reaction. And so before we do that, we got to clear the channel on our arm. And again, there's three energy channel here, three energy channel here. We're going to do some scraping now, back to our scraping tool, our knuckles. And we're going to scrape from the elbow to the wrist. First, the center line, that's the pericardium. Scrape in the elbow, continue to the wrist, come back, clear the channel. All right, so now we know that's the center of the arm. Now you feel the bone here. Okay, on the inside of the bone, again, that's the energy line that we name after the lung. And then scrape the bone. Now, if you have carpal tunnel, and we all do actually, just a matter of degree, because we use our fingers so much, then this is a good exercise. Now we're going to scrape on the other side of the bone, and that's the large intestine energy line. Then we're going to scrape the center, which is the triple warmer, which has no Western equivalent. And we're going to scrape the back of the hand, the fingers, the thumb, and then back to the triple warmer. Rotate the hands a little bit so we're on one side of the bone, on top of the bone, inside the bone, and then the center line. And then we're going to scrape the energy line that associate with the mind. And so that will help you sleep. This is the part, it's right at the wrist, about 3 inches or so. Scrape that first. And then scrape along here to the elbow. Now it actually continues all the way to the armpit, and this is the part that's actually very important. Okay, so in the Western sciences, we said as we age, losing muscle is a big problem. This is the muscle you don't want to lose, and so in Yi Jing Jing, we're going to be doing one where we pull up. That's right here. Okay, now on the right hand, in the middle, back to the elbow, the inside of the bone, on top of the bone, on the outside of the bone, in the center part, back of the hand, the fingers, back of the hand. Rotate the hands a little bit so you're on the outside of the bone, on top of the bone, inside the bone, and then the mind, right? The heart, and all the way to the elbow. All right. Okay, so that was just the condition. Our hands clear the channel. Now we're ready for this exercise. Once again, back to the spine. And from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head, stretch the spine. Raise the shoulder. Lean back. Open the shoulder. Relax. Now we're going to raise our hand, all 10 fingers pointing the camera. Roll up the 4 fingers. They're the springs. Hold the springs down with the thumb, and then you need to wind up the fingers. So you don't just do this, right? Instead, you wind up the fingers, wind up the 4 fingers, holding it down with the thumb, and get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now back to the shoulder, open the shoulder, and then relax. Okay, now you open up two energy point here called the gate to the cloud. This is part of the lung channel, and you open it like this and relax. Now you take your hands, we form what's called the lotus hand, the thumb and the middle finger, and then the 3 fingers stretch out like this. You put that on the gate to the cloud. You open the shoulder again. You try sitting with your hip forward and your upper torso lean back. And back of the hand facing camera, right? Get ready. 1, back of the hand facing camera. So you're actually twisting the hand a little bit. Back to the lotus hand, sit up straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? All right. So, wow, that's a lot of work, huh? From the fingertips all the way to the shoulder. And we have a lot of more work to do. Now we're going to work towards the top of the head. The question is that is it good to use guasa to scrape, or is it preferred to use your hands? Okay, first of all, guasa, sa means sand, guat means scrape. So why do we say guasa? Because people who use the tool, they scrape and they can actually they do it so much that they can actually see some spots on your skin. Now the Western science actually thinks that that release some of the toxins in your body, so they identified those little spots called sand as the toxins in the body. I don't go that far. I just scrape it to so I don't recommend that you scrape so much that you actually see change in the skin color, but that's what guasa means. So, but by guasa you mean the guasa tool. And yeah, if you have one, you should use it. Next time I'll show you my guasa tool. It's a piece of 2x2 that I saw in half, so it has some sharp edges. Okay, I keep forgetting to bring it to you. It's just a piece of wood and very sharp edges, and you just scrape like this. And you make sure that the edge is sharp but yet smooth, so you're not hurting yourself, right? And so, but the nice thing about the knuckle is that I always have it, especially when I fight. So I use that. And all right, so now we're going to work towards the top of the head. There's a very important point, energy point right here, called the pan of chi. Now, first of all, I'm a pan of wind, sorry. And wind is something that we cannot see, cannot taste, cannot smell, we can only feel. So this is how the Chinese describe nerve. And so this energy point actually is part of the energy line that named after the gallbladder. It actually goes up here and then goes above the ear. So this energy point is a very important energy point that not only helps your brain, it helps your ear, and it even helps your eyes. Okay, and so I recommend massaging this energy point. Now the only problem is that if you do it for yourself, it's fine, you know what you're doing. But if you try to do it for other people, try to do one side at a time, because the artery goes here. Okay, so you're not careful, and because you just do one side at a time. Okay, but if you do it to yourself, it's okay. All right, so now sit up straight, lift up the shoulder, open the shoulder, relax, lean back the forehead so you're not looking down. Then you take your fingers, you lock your fingers, you put that behind your head. You use the thumb, you just feel the both sides, and you all of a sudden you find a cavity. That's it. Now you press down with the thumb, not the nail, okay? The thumb, right? The front part of the thumb. And then you lean back slightly and you just hold it as if you're squeezing a water hose, okay? And then you release like that, all right? Then you take your right hand, you put that on your left, you push down with the four fingers, you lean back slightly to provide the pressure, and then you grab the left side and you pull it to the right as if you're opening the channel. Same thing on the other side, grab, push down and grab it, pull it to the left. Then you take your right hand, you put that below your ear, and you massage while you're whispering to yourself, relax, relax. Then the same thing on the other side, relax, relax, relax. Now take the right hand, put that on top of the ear, and come down on top of the bone, and relax, and relax. Now to the right side, relax, relax, and relax. Now you come back, put the thumb on top of the palm of chi, right? Palm of wind, and you just kind of massage it now. But for those of you who wants to practice this on at home, maybe that's all you need to do is just massage it. And last week, on actually just this week on Wednesday, I took my mom to the Chinese medical doctor, and I commented on him. He's 10 years older than me, and he said, "Oh," I said, "How come you have such good eyesight?" And he pointed to this energy point. He says, "I massage this one 36 times a day." All right, so you can do this. All right, so now we're going to massage, we're going to move the thumb towards the ear and just kind of put that on top of the bone and massage that. And then we're going to put the thumb on one side and then fingers on the other and massage that. And we're going to walk up down the neck to the middle, massage that. Okay, now these two energy points, these four of them, has to do with high blood pressure. Okay, now then you go down here and you go grab this and massage that. This is called the door of wind. Okay, now we're going to massage the shoulder. So feel the shoulder. There's a cavity here, and just going to massage that. That's called this the well on the shoulder. Then you go back down a little bit, massage that. There's a cavity over here, back to the door wind, and then on the shoulder, and then you're going to massage the shoulder. We're going to do that on the right hand side. Right hand side. Right hand side. And then, okay. And then inside. And then outside. And then massage the shoulder. All right. So now we're going to work on the face. And remember, I said the Chinese medical doctor, traditional Chinese medicine doctor, 10 years older than me, really good doctor. And he says, "Oh, I do this. So he points to this two energy point here, and he points to around the eyes. So we're going to be doing that today, right? We've been doing that, and so and that's his secret for not wearing reading glasses or glasses in general. Okay, so now before we do that, we're going to do some with the healing hand. So again, locate the center. Use your knuckle. Use your knuckle. Put that together, massage your hand in circular motion, form an empty hand, put that in front of your eye, open your eyes, and you should see darkness. But if you don't, you see light, that means that you need to adjust your fingers so that the lights don't leak, okay? All right, so get ready. Get ready, go. Put that on your eye. Back second time. Put that on your eye. You feel a little bit warm. One last time. Deborah, join if you haven't joined our mindfulness fellowship, and ask that same question again about the Chinese doctor, and I will put that on there. Okay, I want to do that. I want to make that a habit that if you think that you have a question and you need answer, I want you to think about how you want to share that with other students as well. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we want to massage the face from the forehead to the chin, massage the side of the face, and then put the energy point here on top of the temple, and then massage the temple. Okay, and then now massage in between your eyebrow. He actually has an office in Sunnyvale as well, but he recommends people come to San Francisco. Okay, and then massage the forehead, and then we massage this right here, this the tip of the triangle, and then we massage the head where the big brain is, the part that your brain that's responsible for all your cognitive function. Then we move slightly to the back where it's responsible for your memory. We come down a little bit. That's the little brain, that's the motor function. Then we massage the neck on top of the ear, back to the face, and then the fingers. All right. Okay, so now we're going to massage the eyes, right? And it's 3 energy behind top, 3 energy behind on the bottom. So first we're going to take the index finger and you put that in the beginning of the eyebrow. Now today we're going to do acupressure. So you just kind of press in with your fingertip, not the nail, and then use the back of your neck a little bit so your actually providing some pressure. And then relax. Put two fingers between your eyebrow and just kind of squeeze that eyebrow as if you're squeezing toothpaste. Those three energy points up. There's three energy on the bottom, starting at the corner. You massage below the eye bag until you get to the tail. And the other side. Now, then you put your thumb at the corner and you push up a little bit. You feel the cavity. Okay. Now, and just put some pressure there. You start at the corner, you go up, okay? And put some, start at the corner and just go up like this, yeah. Okay, now close your eye. This energy point is called the bright eye. Now, I want you to do some eye exercise. So while we're applying pressure, let's close your eye. Let's look up as if we're looking at the ceiling. Let's look to the right. Let's look down as if we're looking at the floor. Then to the left. Up again. Okay, now we're going to do clockwise. Get ready? Up, right, down, left. Up, right, down, left. Up, right, down, left. Back to up. We're going to do this counterclockwise. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Open your eyes. Okay, very bright, huh? Okay, now we're going to come back to the corner of the eye. Press down and just kind of massage. Then we're going to come to the center of the eye, go down. There's a cavity here, massage, right? You can feel it. Then we're going to use the thumb, go down a little further to the cheek and push up. Then we're going to put the outside the nostril, massage. Then we're going to massage the neck. And then finally, we're going to massage the ears. Now, the ears is extremity, just like the fingers and the top of the head. So we divide it into three parts. We put the thumb on the upper part, the index, all four fingers on the outside, massage. Then the middle. Then we take the index finger, put down the bottom, massage. Come back to the tip, yank. And then along the edge to the ear loop, yank. Then we're going to leave the thumb behind the ear loop, put the index finger outside of the ear canal, and then we're going to massage ear canal. And then now we need to massage the back of the ear. The back of the ear is important for maintaining your blood pressure, lowering your high blood pressure. We put that behind the ear. You see this curve slightly like this? Massage all the way down. Then we're going to put one finger on the ear, one finger on the skull, massage from the top to the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Massage the curve area. Two fingers. And then one last thing we do with the ear called drumming the ear. We take two hands, we put that behind, we stretch, we cover it, and then we let go. 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, all done. All right, so now we're starting tapping the top of the head. This is what they call 100 beat. This is where all the yang energy comes together. And this one is important for your high blood pressure, right? Very important for high blood pressure. Maintaining your proper blood pressure. So we need to sit properly for this. Focus on the lower part of your spine, stretch. Focus on top of your shoulder, lift up, open, lean back, relax. Focus on your forehead, lean back so the ears on top of the shoulder. Tuck in your chin so your 100 meters is on top of your spine. Then we take 10 fingers, put that on top, vertical, and we're going to tap and make sure that you focus on your fingers. Get ready? Go. Now we're going to use the tip of the fingers and kind of massage the skull, one, all the way to the neck. Not the nail, not the fingernail. We're not scraping, okay? Just one more time. And then we're going to put all of them above the ear. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to work towards the bottom of the feet, right? And as we go down, we come to the shoulder, on top of the shoulder, in front of the shoulder. We turn our head to the right. We use our right hand. We form empty hand. We put the fingers on top, palm of the hand in front. We sit up straight. We listen with the ear. This is like playing the instrument. Get ready? Go. Continue. Okay, now the other side, stretch, open, lean back, relax, left hand, right ears, get ready, go. Continue. Okay, and now keep in mind that we're not trying to beat the body into submission. What we're doing is we're setting up a vibration so it clears itself. And so it's important that we use empty hand, and so that it's the air coupling, right? Just like burping the baby, okay? Burping the baby, you need empty hand, all right? You're not trying to beat the baby into submission. All right. So now the next one has to do with the armpit. This is part of the mind, and so we need to learn how to stretch this part. So let's put the elbow on top of the head, sit up straight, stretching this. Then we pinch the right ear, turn the head to the right, left ear, right hand, empty hand. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. And then the other side, put that on top of the head, sit up straight, put that under, right? Turn the head to the left, empty hand, get ready, go. Continue. Okay, now to last one is at the armpit. And so, not armpit, this is the armpit, this is the elbow. All right, so there's these 8 cavities that are very famous that when you tap, they recommend that you tap all the 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the back of the knee, and then 2 in here. So we're going to do that later. All right. So 4 is an upper body. So lock your elbow, palm facing up, put that above your at the eye level. Right hand, empty hand, wrap around the elbow. Get ready, go. Continue. And then the other side, lock your elbow, left hand, empty hand, right ear. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, all right. So now we're moving towards the lower part of our body. We're not done until we get to the bottom of the feet, okay? Then we stand up. All right, first we work on the inside. Again, inside is away from the sun, that's yin. And I'm going to pick 2 energy points. One has to do with the splint, And energy point here is famous for reducing your high cholesterol. High cholesterol is inflammation. All right. Now locate the knee, measure 3 fingers on the inside. Okay. Use empty fists. So just very light. You can either just imagine you have a hollow part or you just put the thumb on top. Either way. Okay, ready? Go. And then inside, that's the liver. Okay. Now we close the knee. There's 2 energy points on the outside. Just divide it into 3 parts. Now, whenever you walk on the yang side, the Chinese call it clearing the qi. When you work on the yang side, you're actually energizing the fight or flight. Energizing the fight or flight means that the body releases stress hormone, including cortisol, which is a steroid. So basically, when you energize the yang side, it reduces inflammation in your body. When you energize the yin side, we call that restoring the qi, which means that you're restoring your sensitivity to the cortisol. The problem we have is that we're too much on the yang side. So eventually we develop what's called cortisol resistance. We're no longer sensitive to our own steroid. In other words, we're losing our self-healing capability. That's why we have all these modern diseases. So yin and yang are very important. So we close the knee. These two are actually quite famous for reducing the chance of having a stroke. You ready? Go. Second one. Okay, so now that's above the knee. So now we're going to work on below the knee. Still on the outside, that's the energy line that we name after the gallbladder, which is the yang side of the liver. Okay, so this first energy point, if you can kind of use your finger and you can't go any further because your knee is blocking it, that's the energy point. These two are important for improving your immune system. Get ready, go. And then in the middle. And further down. Now, how further down? Well, you go all the way to your angle on the outside. You measure 4 fingers. You ready? Go. Okay. And then now this is the one we name after the gallbladder. Now we work on the front, which is also facing the sun. This one we name after the stomach. These 2 energy points that we're going to work on now are to reduce your cholesterol, but this one here also improves your digestion. So we close the knee, we start in the knee, we measure 4 fingers, we locate the bone, and it's just right on the outside of the bone. We put the fist in front and just kind of like this, okay? But not on the bone. Get ready? Go. And then measure 4 fingers. Again in the front. Get ready? Go. Okay. All right. So one more yang energy line, which is the bladder. And that's at the bottom of your calf. Now, the calf is just as important as this guy. This one is called the second heart. And this energy point here is related to dementia, related to high blood pressure, related to many, many things. So I recommend that you do some walking, not running, walking or climbing the stairs to make sure that this one does not degrade. The other one that we do when we do the I Ching Jing is that we stand without locking the knee. That's why we activate this energy point. Okay, all that is important. So I want you to get in the habit of putting the left on the right knee and just kind of do that. Same thing. You can do that when you sit. You can do that when you watch TV, and just do that. A little bit sore. Yeah. And then we're going to tap that 30 times. And then the other side. Okay. All right. So now we're to the toes. All right. We start with the fingers. We're going to finish with the toes. Okay. All right. So we're going to work between the big toes and the second toe. This one right here, this one is the bottom of your calf. The calf is your second heart. So this one actually, to be precise, it turns on the bottom of your feet, this energy point. Okay. So it's part of that kidney bladder combination. It's a very important one. And so it's been known to lower your blood pressure. It's been known to prevent dementia. Okay, and that's actually a Western science study that the calf is very much related to your neurological health. Okay, so now we open and we put the edge of our big toes in here, scrape that. Now this is part of the liver, and high blood pressure is right here. Okay, so when the toes come together, before they come together, this energy point, you notice the symmetry between here and here, right? All four of them are known for reducing high blood pressure. Now you flip, you bend the toes backward, you scrape the tendon as well as the bottom of your feet. You relax, you scrape the heel, you scrape the ball area, you massage the toes, both the tip of the toes and also in between the toes. Then you scrape the arch starting right below the bone area. That's part of the splint. And then you scrape below the angle. Then you scrape along the arch. Then you come back to the angle towards the Achilles heel, and you put some pressure here. This is actually part of the kidney. Energy line is known for reducing diabetes. All right, so now you start at the angle, you go to the knee, you work, you locate the bone, and you scrape along here. Then you come back to the angle, you measure 4 fingers, you locate the bone right below the bone. This is called the 3 yin meet. Then you come back to the bore area, and right below here, there's an energy point, very important one called the gushing spring. And you do some acupressure here. And then the next one we do is a very important exercise. You bend your toes backward, you form empty hand, you put that together. Now you're tapping using the center of your palm and the bottom of your feet. The center of your palm is fire. The bottom of your feet is water. It's called mixing the water and fire. Get ready? Go. Continue. Okay, why is mixing water and fire so important? The water element is the kidney. The fire element is the heart. When your mouth is dry, that's because you're using your adrenal gland. And so when you relax, the water will rise and your mouth is wet. When your feet is cold, that means the fire element is not sufficient to go to the bottom of your feet because you don't have enough circulation, you don't have enough oxygen in your body, and the body prioritized by not sending it to your feet. Okay, and so both of those are indicator of bad health. Bad health. All right. Now on the right side, scrape, do some acupressure, turn it upside down, bend back the toe, scrape the bottom of your feet, relax the toe, scrape the knee, heel, scrape the ball area, massage the toes, and then locate the arch, massage below the bone, all the way back below the ankle, all the way around the arch. Come back to the ankle, go towards the Achilles heel. Okay, pressure. From the ankle to the knee, identify the bone, scraping the inside. Then go from the ankle, measure 4 fingers, locate the bone, press the 3 yen meat. Then come back to the bottom of your feet, press, press again. One more time. Bend back your toes, empty hand. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, all right. So be careful as we age, be careful with high blood pressure, and be careful with cholesterol. And keep in mind that there are symptoms, not the disease itself. Keep in mind that Western scientists cure only the symptom. So they will make sure that you don't have high blood pressure, but they don't know why. 90% of the hypertension cases are what is called essential hypertension, which means the doctor don't know. They just give you a fancy name. They think that by killing the only witness to the crime, they solve the crime. Be very careful with high blood pressure. It mainly is two things. One is that you have a heart failure, gradual but definite. So you're not getting enough circulations in your body. This part of the body senses that, and it increases your high blood pressure to send more oxygen into your brain. If you take high blood pressure medicines, you're doing the opposite. And that's why high blood pressure people, they tend to have pain in the back because the chi is blocked. And that's why we massage the back of the neck to reduce high blood pressure, to actually make sure that we clear the channel. That's one half the reason. The other half the reason is that you're stuck in fight or flight. That's why your mouth is dry. Okay? All right. So high blood pressure is serious, but don't just think that you can take medicine and that's the end of it. Understand the difference between lifespan and health span. Okay? Lifespan is the length of time, the span of the bridge from the day you were born to the day you die. Health span might be much earlier than that. Right? You might not have good health, but you can live 100 years. Who cares? Right? All right. So very important. Cholesterol is a symptom. Cholesterol is essential ingredients in your body. 80% of your brain are made out of cholesterol. You actually need LDL to deliver cholesterol into your brain. LDL just means protein, right? It's a low density protein that goes from the liver to the other part of the body, including your brain. So if all you wanted to do is cut down on LDL, then all of a sudden you don't have enough cholesterol in your brain. Where do you think dementia comes from? So what to do when you have high cholesterol? The doctors say you're going to have a stroke anytime now. Well, the problem is not with the cholesterol. The problem is that you have inflammation in your body. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to continue with some more tapping. I talked about the 8 cavities. Let's continue with 2 more, and it's behind the knee. Now, behind the knee is part of the energy line that we named after the bladder, which is the yang side of the liver, kidney. Now, remember the yang side is just to clear the channel, right? So this is important for your kidney health. It turns out that it's important for your lower back. So if you have lower back problem, that's called kidney deficiency. It has nothing to do with your back. It's just that you have kidney deficiency. And so let's massage your kidney. Then we're going to stand straight up and we're going to stretch without bending your back until your hand gets to behind the knee. Then we're going to loosen up the knee, 4 fingers behind, thumb on the side. Get ready? Go. Continue. And one last cavity, clearly where the lymph nodes are. So the cavities are associated with the lymph nodes, right? These 8 cavities. So remember now, all we do is set up resonance. So we're just going to use the soft fist, put it right here. Get ready, go. Okay, so now we come to this very important exercise called the YJJ, Yi Jing Jing, which can translate into renewal of the energy channel. Those energy channels are basically a web of communication channel in your body associated with the connected tissue. All right, that's the best I can explain it. Now, this exercise is combine all 3 elements of what doctors recommend as we age: stretching, cardio, and muscle building, right? All 3. Now, it's a very energetic exercise, which means that it puts you in the fight or flight. But in order to remain the harmony, we need to, as soon as we do an energetic exercise, we have to come back to the restorative. So every time we do one, then we come back and focus on the breathing. And it's a very important part, right? It's a very important part because you keep doing energetic exercise without coming back to restore the balance, right? You actually make things worse. That's why I don't recommend running. I don't even recommend yoga unless the teacher know how to do meditation at the same time. Okay, too much energetic exercise is not good for you. It's the balance that is good for you. Okay, so how do we do this properly? Let's identify some of the energy points. The bottom of your feet is the gushing spring, which means that we stand properly, let the energy of the earth come up to our body. Then we lift up our shoulder, we open our shoulder, and we relax. This one is called a well on the shoulder. So if the well is not lined up with the spring, you get a dry well. So make sure that you're aligning this with the bottom of your feet. Then you turn your toes inward and you loosen up your knee so that you activate the second heart. Let the fire element comes up. Okay. All right. Now, then you lean back the forehead and you tuck in your chin. So you're looking straight ahead. The top of the head now, the 100 where all the yang energy comes together, is actually on top of your spine. There's an opposite energy point, which is right at the bottom of your upper torso, in between your reproductive organ and your what do you call it? It's right at the bottom. It's called yin meet. It's all of the yin energy come together. So I want you to imagine forming a straight line between the top of the head at the bottom of your upper torso. Then you take your palm, this energy point here called the um, um, uh, chamber or the labor. You point that below the floor, but you bring it back so that you're actually on the either side of the straight line. So when you send a shock wave, you're actually sending it not through your spine, but in the middle of your upper torso. And so you need to do this and then feel the vibration going up and feel the vibration coming down. Now, the key here is when I say go, it is just the beginning of you paying attention. So I want you to close your eye, but imagine that you're looking at the center of your palm. Let the eye follow your hand. As soon as that happens, the mind follows the eye. So your mind is actually focusing on the center of your palm. Then mind body together and you push. Okay? That's the effort. And then finally, the chi would develop. And so is the hand, the eye, the mind, the strength, and the chi, one step at a time. Get ready? Go. Now back to the rest and digest. I want you to pay complete attention to your breathing. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Second one, I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Check the inside of your mouth. See if it's totally dry or you actually feel some wetness. Get ready. Second time. Go. Back to the breath. Completely focus on your breathing. One breath at a time. One last time. Open the shoulder. Get ready. Go. Back to the breath. Completely focus on your breath. No other thoughts. Just the breath. Okay? Check the inside of your mouth. All right. Now, this one is called the spirit boosting palm. The second one is called pointing the one tail. One tail is the energy point. So just take your thumb, point it to the hip without touching, forming that circular energy loop. Take the four fingers, wrap it up. Imagine putting two buckets of water on your thumb, and you want to lift up that thumb as hard as you can. Lift up those two buckets of water as hard as you can. And then relax without lowering your hand. Focus on your breath. Make sure that you're coming back to the rest and digest. Maintain that balance, maintain that harmony. Second time. And then relax. Back to the breathing. One last time. And then relax, lower your hand. Back to the breathing. Okay, now the next one is called the beginning's mind. This is the baby's mind. This is what they do inside the mother's womb. You put your fingers across, you wrap it with your four fingers, and you squeeze as hard as you can. And then you let go without lowering your hand. Back to the breath. Second time. And then back to the breath. One last time. And then lower your hand, completely relax. Now put the fists together at the belly button. Look straight ahead. Take a deep breath. Relax. Put your elbows together. And there is a modality called where they put the suction cup in your back. That's basically what we're doing now is stretching the back. Okay, ready? Stretch the back and then relax. Back to the breathing. Second time. Back to the breathing. Relax. Focus on your breath. Feel that you're breathing in. Feel that you're breathing out. One last time. And then relax. Feel that you're breathing in. The next one is called fists on top of the head. So you take the fist, you put that on top of your head, you open your shoulder, you open your fingers as if you're letting the blood flow to the tip of your fingers. This is a very cardio exercise. Then you roll up your fist one joint, two joint, lock it with your thumb, open your shoulder, and you squeeze as hard as you can as if you're trying to squeeze all the blood back into the heart. And then you relax. Back to the breathing. Second time, squeeze as hard as you can, and then relax. And then one last time, squeeze as hard as you can, putting the heart in the stress, and then relax. Now, it turns out that when you do that, you're releasing hormone. So there's a test that the doctors do when they suspect that you have heart failure, is that they test for that hormone. And that hormone is only available when you're under stress. Okay, now the next one is called stabbing the shoulder. This is back to the energy point in the back of your neck again. And the trick here is to open your shoulder. The trick is also grabbing the dagger and pointing the dagger onto your shoulder, and you stab and you feel the tightness in the back of your neck. And then you relax. Second time, open the shoulder, grab the dagger, point the dagger into your shoulder, and you stab. And then you relax. One last time, stab. And then relax, right? So by now you know that this exercise is very specifically designed for all the channels. We're going to do this called the cross, and make sure that you're not trying to punch. What you're doing is you already stretch out your arm. Imagine you have two walls and you just push, okay? Stretching the upper part of your arm. Now, first, the wrists, then roll the fist, take a deep breath and push. And then relax. Back to the breath. Second time. And push. And then relax. One last time. Roll your fist, take a deep breath and push. And then relax. Front hanging, same thing. Stretching the upper part of your arm. Wrists, fist, take a deep breath. The wall is in front of you already. Just push. And then relax. Second time. And then relax. Back to the breath. Check the inside of your mouth. One last time. Push. And then relax. We're going to do chin up. This is about that muscle now. This is very important. So you need to look up, grab the bar, and pull yourself up using as much strength as you have. Don't lose that muscle. Back to the breath. Second time. And right. Now, after you do an energetic exercise like that, the way it helps is that you come back to your breath, You check to see if you're huffing and puffing. You focus on your breath and you just say to yourself, I know you're breathing in. I know you're breathing out. It's a funny thing. When you slow down your breathing, you're slowing down your heart, your mind. When you slow down your mind, you enter into rest and digest. Second time, pull yourself up and then relax. I think that was the third time. The next one, I'll just call that ripping the yellow page. Grab the yellow page on both sides. You don't know what a yellow page is, you're in the wrong class anyway. So rip the sucker open and relax. Second time and relax. One last time and relax. We're going to swallow, collect all your saliva, and then swallow all the way down. Now we're going to check our ghost stand. We're going to stretch our back of our back because the next exercise is about your kidney. So let's stretch back of the hand touching. Okay. Make sure your knees are bent, and then you go down like this. Make sure your knees are bent. Okay. And you lock your elbow. You look straight down. You squeeze your fists one time. Back of the hand touching. Relax. After 2 breaths, second time. Back of the hand. One last time. Back of the hand. Flip your palms so the palms are facing up. Make sure your knees are not locked. You take a deep breath in. You take a deep breath out. You take a deep breath in. Palm facing forward. Lower your knee. And you see this big rock in front. Push. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Relax. Completely relax. I'm going to start doing some sitting meditation. The first part is about energizing your chi, this thing called the lower stomach, the abdomen, or what we call Dan Ten, the field of fire. And this exercise by itself is very important for your longevity, very important for improving your health span as well as your lifespan. What it is learn to use your diaphragm. Now, the Chinese have a way of sitting that is unique, that's a little bit different from just the normal sitting. First, we're going to identify our leg, make sure that it's nice and relaxed. If you need to, put blankets and pillow beneath, so you're not using any muscle. It requires that you relax your hands. If you can, don't use any hand gesture, just relax. Then I want you to focus on the bottom of your spine. You walk along the spine, you stretch the spine as you go towards the top of the head. Then I want you to lean forward. And then now I want you to lean back. But when you lean back, I want you to lock your hip in place. So as you lean back, you feel the pressure on two sides of your kidney, the lower back. And then you relax the spine while keeping the pressure on your lower back. Then you lift up your shoulder, you open your shoulder, you relax the shoulder. Then you lean back the forehead, you tuck in your chin. You close your eye, but you don't shut it. Just relax the eyelid. Then you take the tip of the tongue, you put it behind here, this energy point right here, where the yang energy and the yin energy meets, which is where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. You completely relax. You feel the saliva inside your mouth. You're now in rest and digest. Now I want you to feel your breathing. And then you can feel when you're breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now I want you to focus on the belly button. Precisely is one finger below the belly button. There's an energy point here called the Sea of Chi. And right behind that on the spine is an energy point called the Gate to Life. So essentially you have four energy points, two at the lower back that you put into pressure, one in front, one in back. The one in front is yin, the one in back is yang. The two kidneys, one is yin, one is yang. So you have four, two pairs. Now I want you to focus on your belly button. And when you breathe in, I want you to move that belly button forward. And when you breathe out, I want you to move that belly button back as if you're taking the two energy points and collapsing them together. You breathe in, you open the stomach, you lower the diaphragm, you enter into fight or flight. That's the yang. You breathe out, you bring it back, you enter into rest and digest. That's yin. One breath at a time. Let's sit for 5 minutes. We're going to go 5 minutes over time, okay? And this is a very important longevity exercise. It restores your harmony between the yin and yang. The yang side is when you release stress hormone to reduce inflammation. The yin side is when you relax and restore the sensitivity to your own steroid. Okay, let's continue. Let go of the belly button and just focus on your breath. You notice that now that you're sensitive to your body, you notice that as you breathe in, the stomach actually opens slightly. And you notice that as you breathe out, the stomach actually closes, collapses slightly. Because the body actually uses the diaphragm. There's nothing else to use. The lung has no muscle. That's actually a natural way of breathing, just that we don't recognize it and we don't know how to make good use of it. Let's let it go. Just feel your breathing, feel your stomach. Now I want you to focus on the bottom of your spine, that energy point that I call the gate to life. That's where all the yang energy starts. As you breathe in, as you enter into the sympathetic, the yang side, I want you to walk up the spine like a dragon. I want you to stretch the spine as you walk towards the top of the head to the 100 feet where all the yang energy meets. Then as your body breathe out, I want you to come down from the forehead to the nose, to the bridge of your nose, to the tongue, which now is a part of the conductive path, all the way to the belly button, back to the sea of chi. As you do that, I want you to relax, and if you can, lean back slightly. As you breathe in, I want you to bring it from the bottom of your spine to the top of your head. But I don't want you to stop at the top of the head. I want you to imagine going above the head. And then as you come down, back to the belly button, back to the stomach. And again, I want you to relax and wait for the in-breath. As if a dragon is chasing a pearl. After a while, you feel that there's an energy rising within you. You just have to follow it to the top of the head. But don't stop at the head, as if the dragon is entering into the cloud, the ancestor home. And then when it comes back to the belly button, back to the stomach, as if the stomach is the cave for the dragon. The dragon needs to rest. See if you can actually rotate the hip, maintain the pressure, as if the dragon is pushing it with the 2 feet. And then back again, above, relax, down again. So you're now actually taking the chi and let it run through the membrane between your left brain and your right brain. Not only your physical health, but now your neurological health. Breathe in, go up. Breathe out, come back down, forming that energy loop. Let's sit for another 5 minutes. So we're 10 minutes over time. Okay, open your eyes. Put your hands together. Massage your face. Massage your head, back of the head, the neck above the ear, back of your face. Massage your hands. Look up. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a problem with the camera. Is that I'm using the camera that's attached to the monitor, and so there's a limited range. And I've been experimenting with that. I used to use the camera that's mount on top of the monitor, but it stopped working. Anyway, so end of class. I'll see you all next week, unless you want to stay for the Dharma talk today. Okay. We'll put the mic into the right place. So back in the days when I was running my own business, I over time I decided that it was best for me and my company if I don't behave like an engineer, and that I learned how to sell, and I take charge of the salespeople and as well as the marketing, and let the engineers do the engineering. They're smart enough. In fact, I went so far that by the time I leave my own company, I didn't even know how to use my own product. I just know how to sell it. If they need help to learn to use the product, I send an engineer. So I developed a skill in selecting the right salesman. Turns out that there are two tricks to it. One is that you actually have to find someone who's totally worthless to be a good salesman. I don't mean that it is in an insulting way, but it's a reality. Because if the person is an engineer and you send them out to sell, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to come back and argue with their engineers and tell the engineers how the product sucks, and that's why the customer won't buy it. And he's going to come back with all kinds of suggestions of how to change the product because he himself is an engineer. What they don't understand is that we will always improve the product, but first we've got to clear the inventory. So the salesperson is not about selling the perfect product, but about selling what we have. And so that was one of the things that I learned is that you can't take a technical person and send him out to sell. You got to send a person out there. If they don't close a sale, they have no place to go. That's how you do sales. The second thing I learned is that the salesman has to know how to listen. Oh, they know how to talk too. They need to know how to talk. They need to be an extrovert. They need to know how to present themselves and get the customer talking. But once the customer talks, shut up and listen. So when I interview a salesman, I would talk to them over a drink, whatever, get them to talk, ask a question. And the minute they talk, I talk. Got it. And they react differently. Some people will continue to talk as if they want to finish the sentence. That guy's not listening. He's not going to be a good salesman. Some guy will stop talking and listen. That's a good person. So if you ever have a conversation with me, I would talk. And then the minute you talk, I stop, listen. Listening turned out to be a very important skill. Once upon a time, I remember there was a hockey player, a Canadian, I think, very famous hockey player. And people asked him, how come you always know where the puck is? And How do you do that? How do you know? It's so much motion going on. How do you know? He said, no, I don't. I never pay attention to where the puck is. You got me wrong. I only pay attention to where the puck is going, and I'm there to meet him. Now, why am I saying all that? It's very simple. Mindfulness is a skill that gives you competitive advantage. If you practice mindfulness, you're very sensitive to your emotion. You're able to put your intellect in its place, the brain, that is, and focus on the intelligence. And that puts you in a very powerful place because you can listen without being hindered by your own emotion. Not only listen with your eyes and your nose and your tongue and all that, all the senses. You can actually be pleasant with the situation and not to be bothered with your own emotions or other people's emotion. I'll give you one more example. Back in the late 90s, I was struggling to get finance for my company. And there was a time when Taiwan was just having an economic boom. Everybody was buying and selling stocks. And you could be on a taxi and the taxi driver would turn out and say, hey, you have any tips? And everybody's making money on stock. Of course, that didn't last. And I was there to meet an individual who actually was not Taiwanese. His parents are Taiwanese, but he was born in the States. So he speaks the language, but he doesn't know how to read and write. But he was doing really well in the stock market. So I asked him, said, how do you do that? You don't even know. He said, well, because I don't know how to read and write. I don't read the newspaper. So whatever emotions are out there, whatever hype's out there, doesn't bother me. I focus on looking at the numbers and make investment not based on the emotions that are outside, not be affected by it. These last month or two, maybe not even two, I forgot when that happened, but I put that on my mind. But anyway, we have a new president. It hasn't been that long. We're so focused on what's happening, looking at the top, being so overwhelmed by the chaos. We never pay attention to what's going to happen. What are they preparing for? Because it looks so chaotic. We have the world's richest person forming a department that is not even a department, focused on efficiency of the government. What is he doing? He hired a bunch of young people less than 20 years old that know nothing about government and they're trying to efficientize the government. How is that possible? We don't pay attention to this group of young people. These are the best of the best. They are geniuses. These young people used to work for Elon Musk in his other companies, and he recruit them. They are so smart that the shareholders in his other companies are suing him for ciphering talents from the company. What is the young people doing? They are AI experts, they are computer experts. We used to talk about people hacking computer systems, finding backdoor. They don't even need to find backdoor. The front door is wide open because the president opens them. They go in, they are controlling our government through computers. They're doing open heart surgery on a government with our eyes open, redirecting the arteries because the arteries are the money. They're redirecting money. And you would say, well, how can they do that? The executive branch cannot do that. If the legislative branch allocate money, they cannot just say, no, we're going to use it for a different purpose. That's against the law. That's against the Constitution. And sure enough, as soon as they do that, we sue them, and the court says, no, you can't do that. That's against the Constitution. So why are they doing that? They're waiting for something. This is just a warm up. They're waiting for something. They're just getting their chess placed in place. The executive branch have unlimited power in the case of national emergency. They're not even testing the boundary. There will be no boundaries. They're going to get away with everything once there is a national emergency. Just like Hitler. Hitler was popularly elected, and he created a national emergency to get absolute power. And this is what's going to happen. Oh, you mean the Chinese going to attack America? Or is it the North Koreans going to set up a bomb and create a national emergency? No. That national emergency is going to be created internally. Keep your eye on the puck. Figure out where the puck is going, not where it is today. There's a national emergency coming when the Congress has to approve once again the debt ceiling. And they're not going to be able to agree because the Democrats won't play along, because they know that whatever they do, whatever compromise they do, Trump is not going to be executing on that. So why bother? So we're not going to be able to raise the debt ceiling, which means that we're going to be in default. Well, the country cannot be in default. That creates a national emergency. All the check and balances in our country means nothing when evil people are in charge. Okay, so it comes back to our talk today, our Dharma talk, right? What can we do? What can we do? We're going to have to learn to put our emotion aside and not use a brain, a thinking mind, but tap into something much more powerful. And that's why today's talk is about weaponizing mindfulness. Weaponizing mindfulness. You know that once Trump was elected, I turned around and changed the format of the class, not so much the exercise part, but the Dharma talk. The title of the class changed. I talk about Shambhala warriors. Shambhala warrior is a Tibetan prophecy that says deep in the Himalayas, there live a group of enlightened beings who are trained with the most powerful weapons of all. They're trained to put aside the intellect and focus on the intelligence. They're equipped with weapons on both hands. So that's why when you see Tibetan monks, they use the hand. They have on one side a tool that looks like a kind of a short thing with a sharp end. And then the other hand, they do their hand gesture. That symbolizes the wisdom and the compassion. And the prophecy is that they train themselves, to provide healing and renewal when the world is self-destruct due to corruption and greed. But it also said, the prophet said, that these Shambhala warriors are already here. They are among us, and you can't tell by their appearance. Meaning that this fight that we have in front of us, we are no match. We are no match. We're just going to see it unfold in front of us. We're focusing on the wrong thing. But they had a master plan. They've been preparing this for 12 years. They control the legislation, they control the judicial, they control always the executive, they control the media, and they control our emotion. What more is there? But we need to fight. This is not. This is for me. This is the country that I escaped from. America is the only country that exists that had true representative democracy. It's an experiment that is about to fail. We need to get prepared for this, just like the Shambhala warriors. We need to learn to put aside our emotions and see clearly what's going on and have a chance to get back our country. So what do these people do? These Shambhala warriors do in their training. They practice meditation. That's what it says. Time for more meditation. And meditation is not an escape. Meditation is actually to engage. Engage your own emotion. Put that aside so you can see the world more clearly and make better decisions. So they practice both mindfulness and loving kindness meditation. They have ideals, non-religious ideals that they weaponize. Things like the bravery. You have to be brave. You have to learn to speak out. You have to behave like a warrior, not to kill people, but to protect yourself, protect your family, protect your neighbors, protect an idea. You have to be willing to contribute so that this is not about yourself, not about your ego. It's about service. You have to believe in the basic goodness of human being, of humankind, of your fellow citizen. That's what I said. This election was lost on the difference of 100,000 people. Once upon a time, someone says there is no blue America, there's no red America. That's wrong. There is a blue America, there is a red America. We know this. It's half and half. Sometimes one way and sometimes with the other. This time it's 100,000 people. That was it. So you have to believe in the basic goodness of your fellow citizen. You have to be conscious of what you want to do, your intention and your dedication to relieve suffering, to heal the world, to be present and not to be entangled by your emotion, and to have the courage to confront those who are causing suffering. You have to be virtuous in your own action. We don't kill, we don't steal, we don't have sexual deviance. What I meant is outside of a marriage. That's what I mean. I don't mean it by anything else. We have to be true to our family. We have to be virtuous in our speech. We don't lie. We don't speak with two tongues. We don't flatter. And we don't speak to hurt. And we have to be virtuous in our mind, that we are thinking always about compassion and loving kindness and empathy and equanimity. So we practice. So I talk about the 37 factors of enlightenment, how it's separated into 7 overlapping puzzles. And one of that is called the 5 spiritual faculties. And I talk about the first 3 being the foundation of a practice. starting with faith and co- confidence, then mindfulness, which means anchoring your mind either on your body or your breath, and the bridge between them is diligence, one breath at a time, one breath at a time. Those three elements forms a foundation, just like the concrete. You have the cement, you have the sand, you have the rock. And one of the benefit of having that foundation is that you become super sensitive to your breath and your body. People talk about emotional intelligence. When they talk about emotional intelligence, they talk about how to use your emotion intelligently, but they don't understand the word intelligence almost means insight into something, like the Central Intelligence Agency. When you practice that triangle of mindfulness, faith and confidence, and diligence, your body and your breath becomes your intelligence agent. That when someone speaks anger, it affects you, but your body tells you right away, hey, be careful. Don't follow that. Don't let it become you. Come back. That's what the practice is all about, is that we become super sensitive. So I talk about the five faculties, and there are two more. There is something called samadhi and panya. Panya is wisdom. Samadhi sometimes is called one point concentration. And in between those, there are stepping stones. That's why it was so important for me to explain what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is not the end of the journey. Mindfulness is a stepping stone. If you think that mindfulness is your journey, I often said that it's like being distracted by the seagull. Mindfulness is just a stepping stone. So once you overcome that, once you achieve that, then there's more. The next one is called samatha. The next one is called vipassana. We'll talk about that in the future. But let me talk about samatha. I talked about that last week. Samatha has to do with calming, ceasing, serenity, tranquility, and mindfulness, awareness. So the Chinese word means to cease, to stop. I mentioned that Zen meditation, the Japanese Zen meditation, comes from the Chinese meditation called Chan meditation. Chan is chana, which comes from the Sanskrit word chana, which means sentimentation. Sentimentation. Just let your thoughts, especially the non-virtuous thoughts, settle down. And the sixth patriarch, the first patriarch was Bodhidharma, as you know, in North Indian. The sixth patriarch was someone in the Tang dynasty who did not know how to write. So he never read any of the sutra. But he was considered the sixth patriarch because his understanding of Chan meditation. And he called samatha, even translate into English, silence. But they actually used the word, there's a combination of two words. One is black, one is canine, the dog. Now, it doesn't mean black dog because the word black actually means determinants and dedication. So when you talk about going from mindfulness, going from the foundation towards wisdom, the stepping stones is samatha before you get to samadhi. And samatha in Chinese is written as two words, which represents a guard dog that is both dedicated and loyal. He describes the practice as guarding your senses. So I grew up with a lot of dogs in my neighborhood back home. And there are times when I have to go to school really early to go to a field trip. It's a very scary process. You go out the street, all of a sudden you see these shadows. They're all dogs, and they will chase after you. You run. So you learn to grab something as you walk. And you notice that the wild dogs will chase after you. Doesn't matter. The guard dogs, they don't. They will guard the doors, and when you go by, they will go this, and then you just get past them, and they will remain and guard the door. That's the practice. That's the practice. Whatever it is that happens outside, all the chaos that is happening outside, all the hate and violence, they're just to distract you. They're trying to get you to be their play toys because it's the billionaire's playground now. You don't want to be distracted by that. So think about yourself as the guard dogs, as the loyal, dedicated guard dogs, guarding your senses. In Chinese, they're called the sense doors. Your eyes, your nose, your ear, your tongue, your skin, and your thinking mind, your intellect. When they come, you experience the pain, you accept the pain, and you let go of the pain. And you use your body and your breath as intelligence agents. They're like the canary in the cave. They know before you. And that's how you practice like a Shambhala warriors. That's the only way we could win this fight is to stay calm. Don't get distracted. Don't let it become you. Have each other focus on what it takes to remain physically healthy, mentally healthy, and spiritually healthy. Fight when we have a chance. Have faith in our fellow citizens. Have faith that they would also self-destruct eventually. May we all be blessed with health, with happiness, with compassion, with loving kindness, with empathy, and with equanimity. Namaste. See you all next week. Okay, bye bye. 星期一見吓。Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, Danny Xing.
Okay, let me turn off all the outside channel.